no gold is not enough.
Good evening everyone, WoTBlitz here and welcome back to my channel. Today we have an update 9.4. That's that's a 1 week ago, and it drops the update. And now we have a lot of tanks, including the Italian tank destroyers that I talked about in the open test 9.4. Now is on the public for now. Let's get into the first thing to do is the Italian tank destroyers. So let's see the guns over there and the engine, etc. Now starts with tier 5. We have a Semoventi M41. And I try it is pretty good tank, but I don't know, I didn't try it yet, only Basotto. Only I can try it, but haven't tried it yet, but let's get into the stock gun. For this first gun, it has the something. The aiming time dispersion isn't that for me good, but especially decent aiming time as well. But dispersion not. It has pretty good DPM, and it has good penetration. It has really good penetration with the gold shells. 186 millimeter. That's very incredible. 7 degrees of gun depression. Not really decent gun depression that he has, but it doesn't change when the guns are other guns. So let's go to the second gun. We has the better aiming time, better dispersion. Yeah, the DPM is a little bit better, and reloading time is a little bit better because and dispersion. The DPM is nice a little bit. That's it. The penetration little bit, really little bit. And this gun, it's take a little bit goody, and the aiming time, dispersion, DPM is a little bit good as well, and it is gone. It's it's not much better when you use this. This is not even that good. When you use that, it's really good. Mobility, it is really good at that. Halterman is good, and when you use engine, mm, wow, wait, the suspension doesn't make sense. It doesn't have a better halter and it stays the same. It stays the same. But the engine is the halter is very different when you use this. So the suspension is the same. It's the same, but aiming time and terrain crossing capacity is much better. Not much better, but it's a little bit better. So let's get into tier 6, which is Basotto. That's right. This boy. The gun, using stock gun, yeah, it will just suffer in the aiming time. But the dispersion, yeah, it's quite okay for me. But DPM is pretty decent. And penetration is good for the tier 6. It's good. 155, it's good for shooting only at some tier 7s, but not that well. And the same as the predecessor, it has same gun depression. And the second gun, it has worse dispersion. It has worse dispersion, but a little bit better DPM, and it has a better damage. It has better damage. It's much better damage, and it has small buff of penetration when using this gun. And the last gun, that's overhaul as all. But when you notice why this tank, it has a long gun. It has really long gun. It can fit on long gun fit on this tank for the top gun, and then this one. This is big change. This is a dumb idea how Italian engineers doing that. But worse dispersion, was reloading time, but a little bit better DPM, and a little and a little bit better penetration of 259 millimeter. That is too much. Too much penetration for this guy. It's too much penetration. You get a pen with gold shells every single tier 6 and 7 tanks in the game. That's weird. And as well as the damage has increased, as you can see. So the engine, it's same as the Semoventi and 41. It's good. But the top speed isn't changed as well. Only average speed, power to ratio, hull turn rate, and engine power. As well, that hull turn rate can improve a little bit, aiming time a little bit, just a little bit. Some improvements when you're researching some engine and suspension. Now, let's get to tier 7. It has reserve shell. So, the reserve shell. Well, for me, it's kind of weird when it comes to first shell. It has very long time to reload, but the other two shells can go faster than the first one. It's for me just kind of weird for that. It's kind of weird for that, but you can must use two shells, not all the. Don't spend all of it because you need to wait longer than usual. And let's see on that. Where I get it. Alright. Yeah, that one. This one. But not that one. I just choose that. So 21.73 seconds to wait. That's not okie dokie. But the second shell and the third shell, you need to get two of these. All the first these. If you need if you need faster DPM, I mean better DPM and faster reloading time, use the first shell only. Oh, when you use waste only two shells, just two shells in it, and we did two of them, then read it. And the first shell you need when you these guys, some of the guys has low hit points or whatever, but you need to get watch out on that because the reloading time is not even good. Not even good for the first shows. Not even good. It's like when using KV2 with that is weird. That is not good. But when using T7 or T8, I like to recommend using this gun because it's much better for that. Much better for that. But when using Tier 9, that could be more difficult. You need to just learning for this. It's just so weird. So weird for that. It's like weird mechanic for Italian 10 destroyers. So this one, when you're currently using, is kind of frustrating. Like that. 4 seconds of image time. It has 0.318 millimeter of meters of dispersion, and yeah, the DPM because the reserve shell reload time between shots 3.53, and the penetration, it's good for the. It's like when you're using T8 gun. It's kind of good. It's not even that good for the T8, just but you can use the gold shells to take advantage for that. It has 7 degrees of gun, 7 degrees of gun depression, just like other these two guys as well. But when using this second one, it it gets some not even that. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, you have a little bit better. You have better. You have better for that. 3.8. It has better aiming time, dispersion, DPM. Even with the reserve shells, where it takes that is a little bit faster, and penetration is it has a little bit more penetration with that. So yeah, it's kind of weird mechanic that comes from. So the armor it says 190 for the stock gun and not 190 millimeter. sights to have 110 millimeter, and it's just only turn rate and armor just buffed. That's it. No changes. That mobility, yeah, whole turn rate. It's not that good when you're starting this tank. It's very painful. It's very painful. And only one I can recommend using the suspension first and then the engine because it's pain. It's really pain. It's really pain for the whole turn rate. It's not even good. But the turret for the gun turn limit, you have 45 degrees, so you don't need a 180 degrees of fun. Just you have limits. You have some limits on the turret. So yeah, kind of pretty strong tank. It has it has a really strong armor for the turret and the upper plate, but the lower plate of the hull is just weak. It's so weak for that. It's very weak. But the other, it's the upper plate and the turret on the frontal. It's just red. It's red as hell. It's really really incredible. So let's get into tier 8. It has the same mechanic as his predecessor, and it's when you start that, it has 4.9 seconds of aiming time, dispersion of 100 millimeters. It has dispersion. It has not even that good dispersion, not even that good, but yeah. DPM not good because of the reserve shell, and penetration kind of good for the T8. Kind of, really kind of. And goal shells, it's good. It's really good. It has 11 degrees of gun depression. And this is the only one tank that can do. That's incredible. So let's get this gun. It has some improvement. It has aiming time and dispersion, DPM, and the second and the third shell is gets faster. It has better penetration a little bit, and nothing changed for these things. Just nothing changed. And when you want to use the single gun, there you go. You have 2,800 DPN. You have better dispersion. It has a little bit. Nah, it's not a little bit better penetration, and you have a better damage. So 525. That's incredible. That's really incredible. But nothing changed with the HE shell. It just stays the same. It just stays the same. So let's talk about the turret. 245 millimeter of armor, and it changed to 255 millimeter. There's nothing changed for that armor, but it just good. Same gun turn limit, just like the tier 7 one. And Jesus Christ. Whole turn rate is not even good again. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. It's not even that good. Yeah, just the tier 7 one, I recommend to grind it into suspension and then the engine. Because whole turn rate is not that good. And you need to get the improved control because no, the whole turn rate just sucks. Just sucks. You need to take the whole control to get into it. It's well, but this tank it's really interesting. 11 degrees of gun depression. How weird it is. So let's get to tier 9, the Contracaro 1 Mark II. And let's get into that. You have only the reserve shell, the gun that includes the reserve shell. And let's get into the gun. It has 6 seconds of aiming time. 6 seconds. It's too long for you. And the dispersion, it's no good, no good. And the auto reloading time is just Second shell and the first shell is not that good. It's not that good. Not even good. It's pretty not good. Pretty not good. It's a bad gun. It's a really bad gun. But penetration, it's pretty decent. And but gold shells, it's good. But the 13 degrees of gun depression. What? 13 degrees of gun depression. Wow, Wargaming, you just ruined the game. You just ruined the game with his armor. Wow. But why though? Just why though? So with that, it doesn't change your hit points and makes 2 tons lighter, and that's it. But the gun, it it has a 1 second faster for the second shell and the first shell. Not even good. Not even good. It has a little bit better penetration, but the gold shell is it's great. It's really great. It has now it's pretty decent penetration for this gun, and you have better damage, and as well as DPM, aiming time, and dispersion, and it's really good. It's a decent gun, and this is a bad gun. It's 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 an like not even good choice for that. But engine, it gets worse. It gets worse. Halter, it gets worse. Why Wargaming just doing that? It must be buffed for the rotation. Like why though? Wargaming, just do something. Just do something. Come on. The hull turn rate just sucks. It really sucks. The mobility is quite pretty decent. It has 35 kilometers per hour. Average speed, not even good, not even that good, 21 kilometers. But the hull turn rate, Jesus Christ, that's unbalanced. That's unbalanced. That's unfair for that. That's unfair. You need to take a hull control. You must use it. You must use it. Without that, you completely screwed. You completely screwed. And that's not good. That's not even good. So the last but not least, we have a Contracaro free Minotauro. Ah yes, the tank that everyone is waiting for. That's a one of the newest tank, not in World of Tanks PC, but even this game. And let's see his stats. It has some changes or not. So 5.3 degree, 5.3 seconds of aiming time, not good. Dispersion, bad, and it has reserve shell, but not good as well. That it has pretty good penetration and 10 degrees of gun depression as well. And let's see the turret, 240 millimeter. For that angle, in World of Tanks PC, maybe this turret has 300 millimeter. This everywhere. I think everywhere. 300 millimeter everywhere. On the hull and the hull and the turret. And they Wargaming just making the armor make more balance for that. But not for not being very OP for that. You have 45 degrees on the left or right, just like other guys starting from tier 7. And 24, it's a little bit better for the rotation. It's a little bit better, but a tier 9, oh no. I don't wanna enjoy that tag. Oh Jesus. But the mobility is just 23 kilometers per hour with a 24.09 degrees per second. Just no. Just it has not even good. It's not even good. But the armor is looks good, but not. It's like using E100 just, but it just turned into a tank destroyer because you just need gold shells to penetrate it. That's it. That's it. But in a hull down, good luck. Just good luck. Good luck. But my worst tank, for my opinion, is the tier 9 one because it suffers. It's really suffers. This guy really needs some buff. This guy really needs some buff or rotation. It's not even good. It's the worst experience possible. And that's not even good. That's not even as well as tier 8 and not even tier 7, not even tier 7, but higher the tier, the worse it become. Expect tier 10. But Italian tanker is kind of good, but not for the rotations when it starting from the tier 8 to tier 9. It's not even that good. It's not even that good. So let's get it into the premium tanks. And starting from the tier 6, that will be a December battle pass. It's called Frosty, and it's a reskinned Shafi. And it's a reskinned Shafi. It's an American tank. It has Christmas things snowing. There's snowflakes. Yeah, Christmas is slowly coming, guys. Yep, the November is still going on, and November's still going on, and yep. Let's get into the gun. What if they change a little bit or not? It has 3.5 seconds of aiming time, pretty decent dispersion, good DPM. It has pretty good penetration and 10 degrees of gun oppression. The armor, you have no armor. You have no armor whatsoever. You're a paper tank. You're a paper tank. But the mobility is really good. It has 60 kilometers per hour and average speed of 36 kilometers per hour. It has good alternate, good. It's a really good tank, but without armor. The gun, it's good. It's really good because of 10 degrees of gun oppression. It has a good gun. So as you can see again with this guy, yeah, looks beautiful. Looks beautiful for that. It's it's really beautiful. So let's get back to the European one. We're gonna visit the Bizante of T45. And yeah, it has some space armor on the turret. And the hull, of course. And it's kinda weird how that. So the gun has tier 8 gun, of course. It's 5.2 seconds of aiming time. And it has pretty no, pretty not good, pretty good dispersion, pretty not good damage per minute, and it goes two two shells. That's it. Two shells in the magazine. That's it. It's a auto reloader, but it has only two, not three. It has only two. Penetration, pretty good. It's just pretty good, but gold shells is nah. It's not even pretty good for that for the gold shells. It has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is which is good for the hull down positions. And yeah, the turret 180 millimeters of armor, frontal armor, but 80 millimeters of side armor and rear is just 50 millimeters. And yeah, the hull 130 millimeter is just yeah. The mobility, it has 35 kilometers per hour. It's a heavy tank. It's not even medium tank, but the hull power to ratio is will be not that good. Will be not that good. But average speed it has 25 kilometers per hour. And hull turning is good. It's good. It has something good for that. The gun it's pretty decent. It's really decent for that. It's kind of decent, but you will get penetrated on the upper plate for that. If upper plate on this and a lower plate as well. And the turret just summoned on this one. I think that one, the gunman lid is strong. It's strong as well. But beyond this tank, it's just a decent tank. It's a pretty decent tank. It's just pretty decent tank. So let's get the Chinese tanks, and we're gonna visiting the WZ-132-1. And yes, this tank will be. The Wargaming said that this tank is confirmed as a researchable tank. That's right. Starting for the tier 10. Starting for the tier. It's on tier 10. But it will be starting for the tier 5 or tier 6 according to World of Tanks PC. I don't know. But look at that. Just look at that. Look at this tank. It has the hull, it has no armor whatsoever, but turret is not pretty strong. Not pretty strong, but it's just a light tank. He needs some speed. It doesn't need armor added at all. It has 2.8 seconds of aiming time. It's good. Dispersion is pretty decent good. It has a good DPM. It has 2,909 damage per minute, and reeling time it's good, but the penetration is not even good. It's not even good, as well as the gold shell, which is high explosive attitude tank, which is hit shells, and 5 degrees of gun depression wind is not even good. It's not even good for that. So starting from mobility, it's 67 kilometers per hour, and yeah, 67 kilometers per hour. And average speed 42 kilometers per hour. Has good hull turn rate, good power to ratio. Yeah, it's a fast light tank with pretty good decent gun because of penetration, and it's confirmed as a residual tank. It will come soon, and Wargaming says that will be another new mechanic for this tank. So it will be exciting what the mechanics it is. So let's get back to the China, and we got a WZ-114. As you can see, it looks weird. It looks weird. It just looks weird. But armor, it will be good. 280 millimeter. That will be good tank. That will be good tank for this thing or that thing. I don't know. But yeah, 4.3 seconds of aiming time, which is not even good. Dispersion, it's good, and not even good DPM, and it has good, decent penetration, and it has 9 degrees of gun depression. How incredible it is! And the armor, it's strong. It has 280 millimeter, sights at 224 millimeter, and the rear is just 60 millimeter. So yeah, mobility is a heavy tank. It just sucks on a hull turn rate, a power to ratio, but it has 32 kilometers per hour, and that's it. That's it. That's it. It has the gun is pretty goodly decent. Good. It has a good time because of that shape. 170 millimeter. It's really good. It's really good when you don't like that. It can be penetrated, I think. But this tank is good. This tank, it will be good. It will be good tank for the armor characteristic. So yeah. So let's get into French tech tree, and we're gonna see the Batchet 25 TCL, and it looks it looks with it's a Batchet 25 T with American gun. I think it's an American gun. T14. Yeah, it has an American gun. So yeah, it doesn't have name like that, but yeah, it's a tier 9 tank. It's confirmed as a tier 9 tank, and it has a camo and it has an American gun. That's it. So it has 6 degrees of gun depression, which is kinda not even good, but kinda decent. 2.6 seconds of aiming time, and 345 meters of dispersion. It has good DPM. It has good DPM, and it has 4 shells of magazine. It will be like a TVP on tier 9, but this tank it will be has really good gun. It has really good gun because of DPM. Penetration decently good, decently good, decently good. It has no armor whatsoever. It's the same tank as a tier 10 residual one. And it has good mobility. It has good mobility. 65 kilometers per hour and an average speed of 38 kilometers per hour. It's like a light tank. It's a light tank. It's a light tank. It's just exchange everything, expect the gun. It's just a batch at 25T with an American gun, and that's it. Just that's it. Just that's it. So I see some. Yeah, that's it. There's some balance changes, and we're gonna see the PBR tanks again. So let's see. All right. We got the balance changes on there. So we got the Tiger Kurumuri Mine special from Gozum Panzer. And the reloading time was reduced from 7.67 to 7 seconds. That's buffed. They buffed the reloading time. That's good. And they a little bit buffed the AP shell penetration. And it's another tier 6, so it is 40 TP Habiha, which is well, the penetration of AP Shell was a little bit nerfed for no reason, and they nerfed the traverse speed as well, which is not even good for that. It's not even good. They just buffed too much. They just buffed. The Dicker Max, the funniest tank with the funniest name I've ever seen. It's from the event that you can spending lots of resources in order to get a tank. It's really easy if you have too much premium times, too much boosters, epic boosters, etc., etc. You can spend on it and get a tank absolutely free. And yeah, they buffed the dispersion and aiming time, which is really good from us as a good reward. M6, another tier 6. For the top gun, it has reloading time was nerfed, and the aiming time just nerfed too. It's not good. And dispersion, they nerf it. They nerfed the Top Gun. They just nerfed it. So ARLV 39, which is average penetration of an AP shells, was increased from 165 to 172 millimeter. This change was affect stock AMX 5100 and AMX M4 MLE 45 guns. Yep, they buffed the penetration, which is good. Which is good for this tank. Not even this tank and not even this tank destroyer, but only for but even with AMX 5100 and M4 MLE 45. Reloading time, they buffed the reloading time as well as aiming time and even dispersion. So, ARL 44, which is a good tank for tournaments, a vehicle durability has buffed, and penetration, just average penetration for the AP shell, they nerf it. They nerf it for the 19mm DCA 45 gun. They just nerf it. They nerfed the Top Gun. They just nerf it. Travel speed, they just nerf it too. Just nerf. Now let's get into tier 7, which is the Comet, a tier 7 British medium tank. And they buff the durability, which is hit points and aiming time. That's it. And 45 TP Habika, which is the same, a tier 7, the same thing. They nerf it just a little bit. T2580, the thickness of upper glasses plate was decreased. It's just they nerf it. They nerf the upper plate of the hull of that tank. But Top Gun, they buff it and they just buff it, but real need time just they nerf it. They really nerf it. So T43, the engine power was buffed. We don't care to talk about that. Vehicle traverse speed, they just nerf it. They just nerfed the vehicle traverse speed. They nerf it. Just nerf that. View range, they nerf it too. 250 to 240 millimeters. Just they nerf it. For the Top Gun, it has average penetration for the AP shells. It just buffed that, and reloading time was buffed too. So let's go into Panther 1. The side armor above the tracks behind the tracks was changed. Yep. They nerfed it. They nerfed it. They just nerfed that. Rear armor was decreased. Yep, they nerfed it. And aiming time, they buff it. They buff it. It's really good. It's really good for us. T20, it's a medium tank at tier 7. It has a dispersion of 100 millimeter. It's just they buff it, and reloading time they buff it too. A T44 average penetration they buff it a little bit. IS8, now it's really interesting. Cheek thickness of a top tower was increased from 191 to 230 millimeter, which is a top tower, not for the stock, but only for the top tower. Reloading time, they buff it, and traverse speed, they nerf it. They just nerf it. And changes related to updating vehicles with new graphics quality. Oh boy, here they come. Backwards and side depression angles change it from -3 or -9 degrees to 2 degrees or -8 degrees, respectively. Yeah, that would be pretty not good for that when you come in the battlefield. Armor of the upper plate was buffed, and tank model size was decreased by 10%. Wow, 10% smaller tank. Okay, that's cool. T110E5 armor of the upper glasses plate was buffed. 145 to 211 millimeters. That's incredible. That's really, really incredible. Now, this is a big change for the armor for the upper classes. Well, that's a really, really weird for that. That's a really, really weird. And as I said about the reserve shell, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, there it is. There it is. Well, shells in use. If you're using only first shell, you will get 2,700 DPM, which is a total damage of 490 damage. It's only for the appears on a tier 10, of course. If you're using two of these shells, you can get 2,000 DPM, which is a total damage of 980 damage. And when using all of it, is comes with 1,700 DPM, and it comes with 1,700 470 damage. And if you use only first shell, it's not even good. If you see red one, it's wrong. It's currently wrong. You just need a teaching on these things. I'm just using for two shells on 2 and 3 shells, or the third shell, and yeah, it's just really weird. And there is as well a new matchmaking. Now there is a bit two ways of entering a battle. The common one is a median or high skill commanders. The second one is for those with low battle efficiency. After training and gaining some combat experience, players from the second group will be able to return to the common crew. So it's it's pretty good matchmaking for that. They finally updated. They finally changed something for the matchmaking. Just that's that's really good when you get sucked for the high skilled players. You will get to the really sucked team as well. But if you improve it, you will coming back to the high skill based matchmaking. So it's kind of it's kind of they changed it a lot for that. Changed a lot from the matchmaking. So yeah, let's get into the PBR tanks as well. Yeah, that's right. And oh boy, the first one is the Mighty Mouse, the mightiest tank in the game. What iconic tank in the game, of course. Let's see the two camos. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Now it's much better. It's much better. Now the second is the two American tanks and T-125. Looks cool. Looks cool. It's much better. It's much better. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful with improved graphics. It's much better. Now let's get it in the M48 pattern. It looks beautiful. It really looks beautiful. It's perfect. It's really perfect. And this one, oh, the Waffenträger auf Panzer 4. Yeah, as you can see, it's much better. It's much better with improved graphics. It's really beautiful. It is really beautiful. So, that's it, guys. Like that video, subscribe my channel, and see ya soon.